meeting in Bimbilla as more police personnel are dispatched to town following the killing of the overlord of the area. Well, the Northern Regional Police Command has meanwhile given the assurance that the killers of the overlord, Na and Dani, would be hunted and prosecuted.
Therefore demand the immediate return of the body to Bimbilla in order for the family and the traditional authorities to initiate and burial processes.
Well, tonight we'll be getting an update on this unfolding story from our reporter. Plus, government offers a 100,000 Ghana cedi reward to anyone with information on the assailants. My name is Prince Minka, and this is today's big story. Well, a disagreement over where to bury rival chief in the town of Bimbilla triggered a violent clash Thursday night, resulting in the killing of 4 people. Among the 4 deceased was the overlord of the Nanumbas, Na and Dani. The incident happened in spite of a 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew already in force in the area. Shortly, we'll be hearing from the security officials, but first, we'll go on the phone line shortly to speak to our correspondent. Let me just take you back to a press conference that was held earlier on today by the family of the overlord, and this is what they've been saying.
I also saw a baby just by the late Abdul Mumin, who happens to be a son, and a pool of blood, but the baby sustained various injuries. The assassins, however, ran away with protracted shooting, and I saw some other heading towards Patihi Na's palace. We went into the compound of Na and Dani only to see him lying down and motionless in a pool of blood in his praying mat, sajada. The assertion by the chief executive officer of the Nanumba district, Nanumba North, that the 2 factions clash is factually incorrect, baseless, malicious, and willful dressing just to save his job. The body has since been deposited at the Tama Teaching Hospital mortuary without the family consultation. We therefore demand the immediate return of the body to Bimbilla in order for the family and the traditional authorities to initiate and burial processes. We also unconditionally demand the immediate removal of the DCE, police commander, and the army commander for their inability to protect the life of the overlord of Nanumba traditional area, who has always preached peace. 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 This is his reward. What happens is an secret. It's an open secret in Bimbilla. DASEC is aware of that because enough early warnings, signals for DASEC to have acted on, but they deliberately refused for reasons best known to them. It would be recalled that the police commander once initiated an attack on him, but he was fortunate to turn it into stealing and arresting him to the police station. It took the intervention of the interior minister for his release. This happened on the 7th of March 2014. We are therefore calling on the government to institute an investigation team into the matter of the overlord of Dagbon immediately without further delay. Thank you.
You can understand how high emotions are over there, but that was a press conference held earlier on there by the family of the overlord of the area, the deceased overlord of the area. Hashmin Mohammed has been following this story. He's our Northern Regional correspondent, and he joins us on the phone line. Hashmin, so who was that speaking at the press conference?
Well, that was Dasana and Dani, one of the spokespersons of the family.
And he's been making some demands. He wants the police held accountable because they had given earlier signals and nothing was done. How is that resonating into discussion amongst the security officials there at this moment?
Well, according to the family, the overload was attacked and murdered. And in an interview granted to the district chief executive, when he was granted an interview by one of our sister stations, she said it was a renewed clash, and that has angered the family, and they are demanding that. Now they are also saying that the fact that the palace itself was under the protection of the security, because there is a police post there at the palace ever since the last incident broke up. They are saying that the fact that the police were there and then did nothing, and they were aware of the situation, there is a need for some people to answer. That's what they are demanding. They are also, quite apart from that, they are also demanding that the body of the overlord be handed over to them, for them to bury him in line with the custom of the people of Nanu.
And Hashmin, you've been at a hospital where a number of the persons, victims for that matter, had been taken to, and we understand the death toll has risen to 5. What's more to that?
Well, a 25 years old man, he was one of the injured who were in critical condition. After that, this afternoon, when we reported about the number of injured who were in critical condition at the accident and emergency center of the Tamale Teaching Hospital. Now, one of them passed away. It's actually 4:30 p.m. this evening. The public relations officer of the Tamale Teaching Hospital, Nifao Mohammed, confirmed that to me. In fact, he said he died at the intensive care unit of the hospital. So as it stands now, the number of deaths now is now 5, and the injured are 3, including the 4-month-old baby.
But what about the curfew from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.? Is it still on? And with this renewed clashes, or with the death of the overlord of the area, what's the mood there currently?
Well, the place looks very, very quiet, and fear still lingers in the mind of the residents there. They still believe that there could be some kind of reprisal attack, but the security have deployed, the Regional Police Command or the Regional Security Council have deployed a combined team of military and police personnel to the place to maintain law and order. So as it stands now, there hasn't been any incident. Again, the place is very, very calm, but there are still some few threats.
Tell us a bit more about the security operatives there. What's the activity like?
I understand some arrests have been effected, but for now, I cannot confirm the number for now. And that is what I can report for now.
But what about government stance? You know, government mentioned that it would actually offer some 100,000 Ghana cedi to anyone who has information on the assailants. How is that generating? What kind of discussion is that generating in Bimbilla?
Well, for the residents there, for them, they think that government should have been more proactive rather than reacting to the issue. In simple terms, they think that government should have put in enough measures, especially with the fact that there were early signs that such an incident will happen. They are saying that there were early signs that maybe the security operatives there received that maybe such an incident will happen, and they did nothing to prevent the situation. So for them, they think that even with the money, that the amount of money that government is putting out on the heads of those who can volunteer information leading to the arrest of the perpetrators, even though it's good, but it is not enough, they say.
Very well, Hashmin. We'll leave it here, and you keep monitoring the situation. As and when there are any new developments, certainly we'll put you back on the air and you let our viewers know. Hashmi Mohammed is our Northern Regional Correspondent. And also, the police say they have reinforced security in the area. Shortly, we'll be joined on the phone lines by DCOP Nyenye Ampabenin. He's the Director General of the Police Service, and he will tell us a bit more about the security arrangements at the within Bimbilla at this particular moment, and whether the curfew is going to be respected, because it happened during the curfew hours. So there are a lot more questions being raised by the family of the late overlord of Bimbilla. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll speak to the police, and we'll also speak to the Northern Regional Minister, as well as the MP for the area, who's also the Deputy Minority Leader in Parliament. Stay tuned. This is still today's big story here on Joy News on your multi-TV. And of course, the death toll as far as the renewed clashes, what's been reported as renewed clashes in Bimbilla in the northern region, has risen to 5. And to help us understand the current security situation within the area is DCOP Nyenye Ampabeni. He's the Director General of the Police Service. Good evening to you, DCOP, and thank you very much for joining us on today's big story.
Good evening.
Now, what we understand is that the incident happened before 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., which was within the curfew hours. How could it have been possible?
No, the curfew hours started from 9 p.m. And they started well before, around 6:37.
So how could it have been possible then?
And that's what I'm saying, that the incident happened before the curfew hours. So everybody's free, there's free movement, there's no... You can't arrest anybody for moving around that time. So actually what I'm trying to say is that the people even went to a mosque to pray. So it's after the evening prayer. So it was after during that time that the chief might have been shot. So our men are on the ground. The incident happened. The unfortunate news is that the death toll is now 5. But the good aspect of it is that we have been able to arrest about 10 people as I'm speaking to you now.
Now, very well. Listening to the family of the late, overlord of the area, one thing comes across that they gave you early warnings with regards to what happened last night. Is this something that came to your notice? Do you know about it?
No, not as such. But we don't want to engage in. These are very, very sensitive issues. People have lost their king, their chief, and we don't want to engage the family. You see, or work and talk against their sensibilities. This may arouse certain other issues that we have not planned for. So let's be on the.
But these are critical issues. I understand how sensitive it is.
Made our statement.
Yes.
That is a murder case. Yeah, somebody sitting in his room relaxing and he's shot in cold blood and killed. It has nothing to do with conflict. We are treating as purely murder case. This is a very murderous act. It's a heinous. It's a very cowardly act. So we are investigating. Whatever we come out with the investigation, don't let us jump the gun. We are told if you don't let us guess that this happened. Our investigators are there. They will come out with proofs, and then we will have the full story after some 2 or 3 days. But what touches at my heart is that we have been able to lay hands on some people and we have arrested them. We are still interrogating them. I believe that by tomorrow morning we'll get a lot from them. We still have to arrest a few more and the whole story will be laid bare before the press.
So what's the current security arrangement, especially around the palace, even prior to this?
As I told you earlier, as soon as police in Accra, we got it through the Northern Regional Police Commander. We destroyed the 4 police units. It's a new concept. It's which has been formed. They are well equipped to handle such issues like rioters, maybe, and people who want to take the law into their own hands. They have been dispatched by air to the area. We have also the CID team, the crime scene management team, have also been dispatched by air to the place. The anti-terrorism team also have been dispatched from the Air Force base. We have enough men there. If the security demands that we should send more, we are ready. But currently, the strength that we have there, we believe that they are able to maintain the situation. As I'm talking to you now, the place is calm. The place is calm. There is no act of vandalism or riotous behavior. So we are on the ground, and since we have arrested by 10, we will get the rest of the people who participated in this heinous crime, this madrasa, this cowardly act. We will get them. And then I think that we will bring the situation under control. Because as of now,
yes,
the place is calm.
Very well. I was just going to ask you, how involved is the family in all this? Because the sense that we get in the press conference they held is that it looks like they know certain people that they feel might have been involved in this. I want you to listen to what transpired at the press conference, and you get a sense of what I'm trying to say.
When you were playing, I heard.
Okay.
I was on the line. But what I can say is that we are investigating all these issues that they are raising. If they come out there, they're real. Nobody will shoot anybody. So far as investigations have been set in motion, let us wait for the results of the investigation. Instead of relying on hearsay, this one say this, we have specialized personnel, CID, top class CID personnel who have been dispatched from Accra, and they're all assisting the local CID and the BNI. All of them are around. They're investigating. Nobody will shoot anybody. As soon as we get the full facts of the case, as I'm talking to you, I will come out personally myself, and I will let you have whatever that we will find later. So it's being investigated. Everybody is saying something. Then I'm saying that, you see, everybody who has lost a close friend, relative, is not saying anything. So that we don't want to engage them in some tug of war, something like that. And so work on their sensibilities, etc. And then they will come out and say something which will be more will be worse than what we are doing. So let's protect. They are bereaved. We share their sympathies. We share their sympathies, and we believe that they will cooperate with the police or the security agencies for us to get to the bottom of this matter.
Very well. Thank you very much, DCOP Nyanya, for talking to us.
We are appealing to the general public also who have information to come forward, like what the family have come out. They should come forward. Let us have them.
Very well. Thanks a lot, DCOP. DCOP Nyanya Ampabenin is the Director General of the Police Service, speaking to us here on today's big story. Let's go on the other line, because we're also joined by the Member of Parliament for Bimbilla and also Deputy Minority Leader, Honorable Dominic Nitiu. Good evening to you, Honorable Dominic Nitiu.
Good evening, and good evening to the people.
Thanks a lot for joining us on today's big story. It must be a really hard moment for you, coming to terms with what's happening within your constituency. How have you been coping with this, and what would you want to tell your constituents?
First of all, it's a very sad day for me. As a Member of Parliament, I never wish that in my term as a Member of Parliament I would see something like this happen in my constituency at all. Not in fact, not in Ghana, not the talk of my constituency. So I'm very distressed. But first of all, I want to wish the bereaved family condolences, my sincere condolences. And also to the people, to appeal to remain calm and let the security investigate and tell us exactly what is going on and what is the way forward. That we should give peace a chance and let peace prevail in the area as we go through this trying times. It's not easy. It's not easy. The people, for now, there's a curfew. It's not easy for them, in fact, not to go for a curfew, even to the extent of living in fear. It's not something that is good at all, and nobody will expect that. So I'm just appealing to the people to remain calm, give peace a chance. So we have children, we have great children, we have great grandchildren, we have children who are yet unborn. The land is there for us. We should give peace a chance and see what will happen. Once the security is investigating, perhaps the police have moved in full force. Let's exactly give them the opportunity and see what to do. But for now, just appealing and I'm begging them that
now,
we should give peace a chance and see what will happen.
Very well. Listening to the one of the sons of Na and Dani, one thing comes across that Na and Dani really stood for peace. I know you probably might have had some interaction with him. Briefly, what are your fondest memories of him, and how do you think that message of peace, which he held on to before his death, would go a long way to help ensure that peace prevails within the area?
Yes, I know him very well. In fact, The last time I was in Bimbilla, I interacted with him for about 30 to 40 minutes. I've always known him. He will not be happy to where I live today about what he's trying to do. Generally, the people of Nandom in general are very, very peaceful. All of them are very, very peaceful. And even the most peaceful, we can have a bad wind that blows through us. That's why I said we are not addressed with the full facts of the case. Anything any of us say at this time can escalate the matter. I'm just appealing.
Very well. Honorable Dominic Nitu, thank you very much for talking to us. Let's go straight to the other line as we still continue to follow the incident in Bimbilla, and we are joined by the Northern Regional Minister, Honorable Menuru. Honorable, good evening to you, and thank you very much for joining us on today's big story.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing great, Honorable. What's the current situation? I know you're within the area. What's the current situation within Bimbilla and its environs?
Yeah, currently I think everything is calm. We're able to swiftly respond to the issues, so we stepped up security, and we went to Bimbilla. I was in Bimbilla as early as 9:30 a.m. with my members of Respect. We met with Respect, and we have put in all the necessary to come up the place. We've also spoken to the family and well-wishers of the late chief to take it down and allow the security personnel to do their work. We'll deploy special security there to effect arrest. So far the place is calm, we've appealed them, and I want to say that we really condemn this particular act as government, and we have always responded swiftly to ensure that everything was calm, not to escalate into something else. And I want to commend the people of Bimbilla. They are peace-loving people. I think they were really very calm. They received us warmly and listened to me. So we just put in all the necessary measures to ensure that the investigations are so on.
Did the death of the killing of the overlord come as a surprise to you? And I'm saying this because I would want to know the kind of security arrangement you had at the palace prior to his death.
Yeah, what happened is that there's always a deployment of the police at the palace. They are there up to evening, and when they leave the place in the evening, then the military takes over in the night.
Right.
But the arrangement was that the military has traveled to Sapaba, around the Salaga district, where there's also a chieftaincy district, because they are there to oversee Salaga and district. So they have traveled to this thing, and they arrived a bit late. I think they arrived almost late. And instead of the police to wait for the arrival before leaving post, they left thinking that the military will come. And it was in between the time the police left and the arrival of the military that this thing happened.
Now, the family is also making some recommendations. They want the DCE sacked. They want the police held accountable because they say they gave early warnings, early signals. I mean, the signals were written on the wall, according to the family, and nobody paid attention to them.
Yeah, so that is why the investigation is going on. And we want to assure the family and everybody, the good people of Ghana, that we are going to follow this matter to the end. We are not going to leave it as anything. So anybody, whatever, whether it's the DP, the police commander, whoever is involved, will take him on. We are following it, and we should assure them. So they should just start taking with us. We've made a few arrests. We've made a few people to be invited, and I think we are on it. We are assuring them that we will not leave any stone unturned. Anybody who is involved will be handled accordingly.
Okay.
So we are on it.
Very well. We spoke to our Northern Regional correspondent, and he also mentioned that based on the few interactions he has had with the number of residents there, a number of people are still living in fear and panic. How are you working on the psyche of the people, the emotions of the people at this particular moment?
That's what I said. I was there personally at the side. I went around to talk to them. There were a group of youth. I've met them. When I got there, there were these DC candidates who had just finished their exam. and they were all panicking to get out of the place because they had traveled in from villages to write the exam.
Right.
I personally went to talk to them at the police station because they had all run for refuge at the police station. I got there, I spoke to them, and I organized buses to convey them to their various destinations, which we did. After which I met the youth group and talked to them to remain calm. And in the what as we are speaking now, we have different security, and the whole place is secure. So I think so far they are sure that they are secure. So
very well. Very well. Thank you very much, Honorable, for talking to us. And that's the Northern Regional Minister, Alhaji Mohammed Maniru Limuna, speaking to us here on today's big story. We're going to bring in Samuel Ahohli. He is with IDEG, and he has some security analysis to this particular issue. But I bet this discussion certainly will go on. As and when we get Samuel, we'll put him on our other bulletins, and of course we'll get to hear from him. But that'll be all for now. Coming up shortly, though, Joy News Interactive, Marian Ture is going to be here. She's warming up to the game between the Black Stars of Ghana and Germany. Stay tuned.